Hi, welcome on my YouTube channel. Today is the first video of the new series of videos, which are going to be simple vlogs. This is my experiment. That's something new that I want to do on my YouTube channel, and I will see if this format is something that is going to work or not. But unless I don't try, I won't know. So before that, I was posting videos about breast cancer. As a breast cancer survivor, I was talking about my experience with being diagnosed, going through the experience of active treatment, and then all these nasty side effects that I have been living through for the last 2.5 years. At some point, I got a little bit tired of making videos about breast cancer, and especially since a lot of my friends and acquaintances, they started referring to me people from their circles with breast cancers. And in a way, I became some sort of support, like emotional support for friends of my friends. And it got a little bit taxing on my mental health. So I decided to stop creating videos about this topic for a while. But then something very special happened. Early in March, I attended an event for women founders. And this was like a low-stake event where different women could talk about their projects to the audience. It's kind of like a pitch night with no stake, and just been surrounded by people with good intentions, with a lot of positive energy and positive drive. So I talked about my YouTube channel, Spark and Heal, and also about my YouTube channel, about my Instagram channel. So all in all, I said that I have been driving this initiative on social media, and that I felt that it was useful and interesting to women affected by breast cancer. And in the end of the evening, or rather in the end of all the pitches, several women came to me with tears in their eyes, and they said that somebody in their families, like one woman specifically mentioned her mother and the other mentioned her aunt, were going through breast cancer. And they said that what I was talking about was very important, and that maybe I should start thinking about something serious, or maybe even a startup, a platform of some sort to help support these women. Okay, it took me a few days to think about this. So on one hand, I was already very much involved in these breast cancer stories of like people in my circle. On the other hand, I was still dealing with some side effects. It was still hard for me emotionally, but then when I thought that maybe if I created a startup, maybe if instead of talking one-on-one with all of these women, I would create this platform where I would allow a lot of women to connect and interact, maybe this would be something that makes sense. And so day by day, this thought was growing in me, and in the end of March, I decided that yes, I am going to found a startup. And so since April, I have been very active in the startup scene with my idea, going around and looking for a co-founder, somebody who could work with me hand in hand on this platform. This platform, so at the moment I see this as Spark and Heal. Well, nothing is set in stone, but that's the original idea of this YouTube channel, and maybe this can be the original name of my startup. I imagine this a platform where women get together and talk together about their diagnosis, what they're going through, about their thoughts, side effects, but mainly connecting on the emotional and psychological level with somebody who is not a doctor, with somebody who is not a psychiatrist, and try to support each other going through this not very happy time of their lives. I imagine this platform as a place where, as a woman, having already done my active breast cancer treatment, I can find somebody with similar disease years later. For instance, I want to look for somebody who was also diagnosed in their 40s, but who is maybe now in their 60s, and to see how psychological and emotional life of this person has been. So I have an idea of this platform. I have a lot of information about what I would personally like to have back then when I was affected by breast cancer. And I'm looking for somebody who is on the product side and on the technical side who can help me implement this project. At the same time, I have also been quite actively applying for different accelerator programs. And so far, I was turned down because of the reason that I mentioned before, like I don't have a co-founder. So all accelerators want me to have a co-founder, and that's, for the moment, it's the biggest problem. And so the idea of this vlog that I'm already starting to talk about my startup journey, but also at the same time talking about my day-to-day life, what happens, what activities I'm involved into, what thoughts cross my head, and how this influences my founder journey. So I hope that this format will be interesting to you, that you will learn something from this, and that I can also grow and reflect watching this video in the future. I can reflect on the person that I was in 2024. That's kind of it. So today is Friday and I'm going to film for the rest of the week. So I will probably start vlogging every Friday, and let's see what happens tomorrow. So far, it's Friday late afternoon, the weather is shitty, and I spent a lot of day, most of the day, thinking about the future of my startup journey, of the next steps that I can take looking for a co-founder. Last week I attended an event, a networking event, where I got a few ideas about how I can go about this. So one idea was to go to different hackathons and different coding events and meet a person there. So I don't know if you are a founder who were looking for a co-founder and maybe you found your co-founder in one of these coding events. Leave me a comment. Is it useful? Well, it seems like a very good idea because of all of this high concentration of engineers in one place. So that's what I will start doing starting from next week. And also next week I will reapply for another accelerator program. And then let's see what happens. Tomorrow is Saturday and I'm still planning to work for a while, for a few hours, and then tomorrow I will tell you a little bit more about different accelerator programs. If you don't know what they are, I will give you a little intro, but if you know what they are, I will tell you a little bit more in detail what is happening in my world. I live in Berlin. That's a very good place for accelerators, for startups at the moment, because Germany is slightly behind. When you look at the map of the European Union, Germany is a little bit behind when it comes to innovation and startup scenes. So the German government, together with the European Union, offer a lot of different initiatives for people like me who want to found a startup. So see you tomorrow. Dear friends, it's Saturday and it's quite an eventful day in terms of my startup activity. In a few hours I will be meeting with a woman who did a similar project that I'm planning to do, but in Germany, in German language. She ran a platform for emotional and psychological support for women affected with breast cancer, and she told me that it didn't turn out well. So I'm really eager to learn from her experience, to understand what she did exactly on her path to building the platform. I think it worked for a year or year and a half, and then she stopped. Now she created another startup which is quite successful. But my main goal is to understand what was the what didn't work in her journey to being successful with this platform. And today, in the light of this whole startup events and startup activities, I would like to briefly talk to you about accelerator programs, because yesterday I mentioned that I've been applying to different accelerators, and so here it is. A brief intro. What is an accelerator? An accelerator is a program limited in time for people who aspire to become startups. And these programs are focused mainly to early stage startups. They provide, very often they provide space, support in terms of mentorships, and access to capital. These programs last from 3 months to 1 year, most commonly, and also when you are eligible to be part of the accelerator, you're actually also receiving some sort of salary to go there every day and to work on your ideas. Currently, most accelerators that I have discovered in Berlin are paying reasonable money. They pay approximately 2,200 euros per month to be part of the accelerator. Then, of course, this money is taxable, but I guess you can live a decent lifestyle in Berlin for this amount, especially given that you're spending most of your day working on your idea, working on your innovation and trying to get to your dream. So it's not bad to be paid to work on your dream, right? So most accelerators, that's also another interesting part about accelerators in Berlin. Most accelerators in Berlin are sponsored by City of Berlin and European Union, which means that they don't claim any stakes in your startup. Because typically when you are attending an accelerator program, what's the interest of this program, right? So they want to have a little stake in your startup once it's successful. Berlin is currently, and Germany overall, I would say, is in their need of more and more innovation, more startups. Therefore, they bring funds from EU and more like the city and government level, and they give founders full control of their startups, which is really, really great. I know I met a few women who are on their journey to becoming hopefully successful founders, and they are currently part of different accelerators. So all of them told me that it's actually great to not to worry about earning money, and they were all happy with the mentorship programs that were offered, the mentors that were assigned to, and different opportunities within these accelerator programs. So that's what I'm currently aspiring to, and I hope that very soon I will reply for the next cohort of different accelerators that I will become part of one, right? What not to be excited about. And so now I'm almost off. Almost off. Yeah, I still got a few things to finish before I go, but very, very curious to meet with this woman and to know everything about her past startup and about her current company as well. Okay, it's Monday and I'm flying into screens. Yesterday I took a well-deserved break. I met with a friend, ate ice cream and enjoyed grey Berlin sky. Today I would like to update you on the meeting with the woman founder whom I met on Saturday. So, she had a startup with similar concept to mine. I plan to create a platform for emotional and psychological support for women affected by breast cancer. But I want to position this platform more in the mind-body realm. She had the platform for people with cancer and she positioned herself more on the medical side. So why her startup didn't work? She had to stop after 2.5 years because in Germany she needed a lot of different certificates and like legal stuff in order to regulate her her company, but also as she was providing medical help through the platform, she needed like tons of kind of bureaucratic stuff which costed a lot of money and it just didn't work for her. But she gave me, like I said, a couple of valuable contacts, connected me to some people in her network, gave me some interesting ideas on what I can do potentially. First of all, in order to find a co-founder, and second, with my platform. And we just had a good time, and I hope we will meet each other soon because she lives not very far from where I am. And maybe we can become friends. In about an hour, I'm going to leave for a very interesting event. It's an open mic night organized by one of the accelerators here in Berlin. It's a very low stake event where anybody who either has an idea or like an early stage startup can stand up, take the microphone and pitch the idea for about 3 minutes. No presentation, nothing. And honestly, I have to say that this is a perfect situation for me because I don't like presentations so much. I feel more nervous when I have slides, and sometimes it can go wrong in the sense that it does, like the presentation doesn't load or the clicker doesn't work, stuff like that. So just walking on the stage and talking about my idea is great. I've already pitched several times, so I feel quite confident about that. I have adapted. This morning I looked at my text, at the bullet points. I'm quite happy about that. Let's see what happens tonight. But then another interesting and very exciting thing, at this very event, at this pitch event, I'm going to meet a potential co-founder. So honestly, today I'm so happy that so many things happened. So I got connected with a potential co-founder. I scheduled 2 calls with people who work in body-mind field and who can give me a lot of interesting and valuable information about communities, about mind-body businesses, about patient advocacy. Well, and I hope that this event will be also fruitful. So, do you want to know how was the pitch night yesterday? I have 2 answers. One is great and the other one is not so great. Not so great because I didn't have to pitch. and great because it was nice to be in this group, like in a room full of people with ideas, very eager and excited to present their startup or idea, because they were both, and because of the feedback of the judges. There were 3 judges who are entrepreneurs and investors. Some of them are investors, so it was really great. The feedback was like, each feedback was to the point, and I feel like after listening to the 7 pitches yesterday, I feel like I went to the university and I've got lots of new knowledge. So, why I didn't have to pitch? Because when we all came by 6 o'clock, and pitches were about to start at 6:30, and the organizers asked how many people wanted to pitch. So there were 7 or 8 people, and they said that it was perfect because that's exactly the amount of time they had for all the pitches. But when the pitches began, so first of all I said to myself that I don't want to be first or second. I decided I would go 5th or 6th. And then I waited and waited and waited to, like, but every time when they asked who wanted to pitch, I rose my hand. But actually, what happened that since the pitches started, several new people came, so people who were late, and they were also those who wanted to pitch. So after pitch number 4, organizers asked again who wanted to pitch, and there were many more hands than at the very beginning. So then they drew some sort of a lottery. They distributed numbers to everyone who wanted to pitch, and then the jury drew 3 numbers, which corresponded to different people who were not me. And so that's how it went. I was a little bit disappointed for another reason. Out of 7 pitches, or 8 pitches. Okay, let's say there were 7 pitches. Out of 7 pitches, it was only 1 woman. And in order to be a little bit more diversity friendly, would have been nice if the jury asked me to pitch as well. But, well, didn't happen. Now I'm ready for the next pitch. But actually, I want to share in the nutshell the feedback of the judges. So if you ever have to pitch, so here are the key elements that have to be present in the pitch. First of all, who you are and what is your role, what is the team of your idea or the startup. Then you need to present your idea as a one-liner. Then you need to explain why you are working on this idea, why now, and who is the audience. So these are the key elements of a successful pitch, and well, it doesn't have to go one after the other. You present it in the way that works for you and is comfortable for you, but yeah, these 6 elements have to be present. Learned a lot. I connected to several entrepreneurs, so I feel like this event was really successful, despite the heavy rain that started towards the end of the event, and I got a little bit wet returning home by bike, but other than that, I enjoyed this pitch night. There will be more. On a side note, I want to say a few words about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been super useful for me since I started my entrepreneurial journey. Since last 2 or 3 years, I've been quite active on LinkedIn, posting from time to time. But last October, I started posting 2 or 3 times a week. My audience is growing, my message is amplifying, and not only I'm reaching to new people to develop my network, but I'm also reinforcing my old network. And here's what happened this morning. I received a message from a former colleague with whom we worked back in Dublin, maybe 13 years ago. She wrote to me that she's following my journey on LinkedIn and she wanted to talk about it. She wanted to share her experience working with communities and vulnerable people. And this is yet another this is yet another additional thread to the tapestry of my entrepreneurial journey. So next week I will have 3 calls with 3 women who are going to share their experience, and for sure they will contribute to my startup, my idea, and probably not only professional but also personal growth. So I'm really looking forward to it. So 6 p.m. on Thursday. The circle has closed. I'm now done with my first week of vlogging. So if you liked it, or even if you don't like it, still leave the comment and subscribe to my channel. But in all honesty, I would really like to hear your opinion, because that's my very first vlog and I know it's not perfect, but it will get better and better because there is no other way. Okay, I want to reflect on my week altogether, but before I reflect on the week, I wanted to say a few words about the day. Today I spent working at the public library and I really like this experience. This is the first time I worked in a public library in a very long time, and I said to myself, I made a mental note that I should do it more often, because it was really nice, like being surrounded by books and people who are very focused on what they're doing. Somebody's reading, somebody's working on a laptop, somebody is just browsing. So today I applied for 2 accelerators. I also wrote an ad for co-founder, and I wrote a very angry LinkedIn post. And this post concerns the pitch event on Wednesday. Because if you remember, there were several people who wanted to pitch, but when they started pitching, more and more people came, and in the end we had to draw the lottery, and not everybody spoke. And actually, when you look at the totality of people who wanted to pitch, there were only 2 women. Only 1 woman had the chance to pitch. I didn't. And it made me angry. Well, not just because I didn't pitch, but because I think the jury or the organizers should have respected parity, or encouraged parity actually, and encouraged me to speak. When I wrote this article on LinkedIn, the post on LinkedIn, I looked at different stats. And last year, only 2% by startups who created by women were backed by venture capital. But then when we look at the global population, we are 50% of women and 50% of men. But then only 2% of startups are created by women, are getting backed by venture capital. I don't think this is fair. And why this is happening, why there are so little startups created by women. First of all, because women are not confident enough to promote themselves. They don't get the right environment, and there is nobody external to push women to promote themselves or to stand. There is nobody in this environment to stand for them, to stand for women and help them promote themselves. Well, long story short, you can just read my LinkedIn post and see what you feel about this. But in my opinion, women should be pushed, encouraged more and more, especially in the tech world. Because if you look at all of these products that are created by men, 98% of products, they are brought together from a male point of view. Even though there are female co-founders and women on the board, but very often there is still a male dominant point of view. And even though you may say that some of these startups, or even a big part of the startups, targets women, but still they are put together by men, and again, they promote their product from the male optic. If you give any problem to a diverse group of people, where you have different genders, ethnicities and religions represented, this problem will be looked at from different angles, and the usage of this product, the benefits of this product may be developed in a different manner depending on who is looking at this problem. So, on my opinion, this world today is still dominated by men, even though we say, some people say we are done with feminism. We are not. Now, if I make the summary of this week, I can say the following. This week went neither fast nor slow. I really enjoyed the pace. I have got a lot done, and I could probably do more, but I really liked it. If I have more weeks like this, thumbs up. So I got a lot of interesting connections, and I was connected with these people either through somebody, like through some introductions, or in person, or via LinkedIn. And all of these intros are resulting, and also connections, communications will result in 3 interesting calls next week, and maybe more events. Let's see, I have not planned my events. I usually plan my events on Sunday and Monday, early on Monday. Let's see what next week brings me. Also, next week brings me Paris. I'm off to Paris because next weekend I'm going to the graduation ceremony from my Global Executive MBA. Yay! Well, that's another story for another video. I hope I got you excited, so you will watch my next vlog as well. That's it. That's it. Hope you had a good week as well. You're pleased with what you've achieved, and have a great weekend. See you soon. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Shall I say something intelligent? I will.